Hello, my name is Anthony Mitchell, and I would like to further your knowledge regarding natural resources. More specifically, I'd like to talk about Trona. First of all, what is Trona? Trona, also referred to as sodium subcarbonate dihydrate, is a non-energy, non-marine evaporite mineral. What does that mean? Well, Trona is mined and processed into many everyday essential needs, but energy is not one of them. Trona is a water-soluble mineral sediment that settled millions of years ago after a standing body of water, which was diminished due to evaporation, which left certain sediments of salt in crystalline deposits. How long have humans been using Trona? In some cases, a great way to better understand how long ago humans began using something is to determine where the word itself came from. The word Trona derives from the Arabic natron and the Hebrew natruna, which comes from the ancient Greek natron. In the 1st century, the Romans used soda ash for making bread, glass, and medicine, uses which continue today. Trona is derived ultimately from ancient Egyptian nitri. Recordings show that ancient Egyptians discovered Trona and made use of it in medicine, cookery, agriculture, as well as glass making. Powdered Trona was even used to dehydrate Egyptian mummies. What is Trona used for? Whether people know it or not, the products of Trona are immense and would be considered an essential household item. Trona is the primary source of sodium bicarbonate, or soda ash, which has applications in manufacturing glass, chemicals, paper, detergents, and textiles. Surprising to many, Trona can be processed into baking powder and baking soda. Soda ash also goes into commonly used items such as toothpaste and laundry detergent. If that wasn't enough, soda ash even removes sulfur from flue gases. How is Trona collected or extracted? All Trona is mined approximately 800 feet underground. An underground Trona mine is like an underground city. There are maintenance shops, bathrooms, electricity lines, and streets. Most Trona is mined through a room and pillar system, where a series of parallel drifts are driven. Connections are made between the drifts at regular intervals, which creates a checkerboard pattern of rooms and pillars. The pillars are left to support the overlying rock, and the mineral is then cut from the mining face and processed. How is Trona processed? The purification process begins with crushing the ore, which is then heated to dry off unwanted gases. This transforms the Trona into a sodium carbonate. Water is added to this substance, which is then filtered to remove impurities. The water is evaporated, and the resulting slurry is placed into a centrifuge to separate the remaining water from the soda ash crystals. The crystals are then sent to dryers, screened, and sent to storage bins for transport. Let's take a look at some of the equipment used to mine and process Trona. A continuous miner is a machine with a large rotating steel drum, equipped with tungsten carbide teeth that scrape Trona from the walls. A shuttle car transports mine materials from the area onto a conveyor belt or another mine car. An ore crusher is a machine which utilizes a plate hammer on a high-speed moving rotor to produce a fast, heavy impact on the Trona being extracted from the earth, so it will fit into conveyor belts. A conveyor belt is a continuous moving band of rubber or metal used for moving the mined Trona from one place to another in a horizontal fashion. An ore skip is a car that rides on rails used to haul ore through the mine or up the mine shaft to the surface where it can be processed. A centrifuge is a machine with a rapidly rotating container that applies centrifugal force to the crushed ore, typically to separate fluids of different densities or liquids from solids. A dryer is an industrial rotary machine which removes moisture from the soda ash. Is there a chemical process necessary to make soda ash usable for humans in general? Before it can be considered sodium bicarbonate or soda ash, the crushed Trona must be completely free of moisture and impurities. For that to occur, the product must be calcined. Calcination refers to heating a solid to high temperatures in air or oxygen, generally for the purpose of removing impurities or volatile substances. Next, I would like to conduct an interview with Justin Hunt regarding the mining and processing of natural trona. Okay, so I'm here with Justin Hunt. We're going to be asking a few questions about trona and the process of making soda ash. So where do you work?
I work at Generative, Wyoming.
Okay. And what kind of stuff are you doing in the process of trona?
I work in the mine. I'm a relief operator, so I'm on the production side, and so I run the continuous miner, bolters, the shuttle cars. I also work in the underground crusher, so I kind of get a little taste of everything underground in the production process.
Right. And then, so you're mining trona, and what kind of stuff can trona be processed into?
There's actually like thousands of uses for it. The ones that most people know about are baking soda, glass, laundry detergent, and those are usually three of the big customers for
big household items.
Yes,
too, so.
yes.
Yeah. Next, what is the process of trona? How does it go from an ore mined underneath to a powder that people use in their house?
So there's obviously the mining process. So extraction from the deposit. They crush it through several crushers. Then they hydrate it or turn it into a slurry. Usually mix in chemical at that time. Then send it through giant kilns that dehydrate it or bake it, and then turn it into a powder, and then usually into its final form.
Okay, so I don't think from my research I couldn't find any true environmental impacts from trona. It seems like, it's not an source of energy. It's just a source of a lot of common essentials that people need every day. Are there any environmental impacts that you could think of?
I would say the only there's minimal for the industry. There are some environmental impacts as far as use of natural gas on the giant kilns. You do have there's minimal pollution that's very regulated. They check dust, like they go out and they take dust readings off of the stacks through the crusher, through the venting systems. And then just as far as use of the land, the BLM, there are a lot of the plants are like their own cities, so they have to there's garbage, so you're going to have to get rid of your garbage and use landfills, and and there's permitting on that and stuff too.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So does your job change throughout the year with the seasons or with the demand?
Not so much the seasons. Usually, our demands usually dictated by the beginning of the year, and so we're trying to get out to our customers, because usually we're a couple years out. Like we have contracts that we have to fill, so we're not really driven in that sense. We're more economy driven, as far as if there's a demand or if there's not a demand. So basically, if the economy's good, it seems like we're running, and if it's in a downturn, then we're usually cut back a little bit. And then with the COVID-19, we've seen some with the inability to disperse the product. There's been cutbacks on that as well. So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this informational video on trona. Thanks for watching.